Okay.
Good, you should. Hey, if you weren't one of my targets, you'd be already dead. You should have gone. I'm fucking with you.
Well, I also like to ask questions first before shooting, usually. I assume you are the one I am assigned to for today. Reporting for duty. Shadows up.
Yeah, so... Just to get a few things straight, okay? I'm not your nanny. I'm not gonna fucking watch over your back and all that. I'm expecting you to hold your own, right?
Darn cable needs replacing. Things are getting too old.
This is one of
Never have worn
those.
it too much. Yes, it's the same armor I've been issued since my rank up, sir.
Did they ever fix the problem with the neck?
They
no,
did.
they didn't. They did.
I'm still using the old one.
Get that fixed, man.
As you would have said.
But yeah. Ain't gonna be your nanny. We're not gonna... Oh. Oh boy. It's gonna be a long day. The cable really is fucked though.
Remy,
Yes.
Octavia will get a ping on her tablet in her office that Lockdown will be performing routine checks on the electrical system in the building, and parts of the building will... Some parts of the building's power will fluctuate.
Noted. We'll just receive an approval.
I know what you're going to do, and don't do it. You'll get socked in the face like last time.
Boring.
I know it's boring, however. It's expensive to repair these. Whose floating firearm is that?
Not mine.
Yeah, I was
I see.
wondering what's up with the floating firearm.
Probably not there. We just...
Is it one of your invisible people
in your mind.
that are walking around?
Hey, the only invisible person here, it's me, okay? And if I go invisible, it's all of me.
I think... He's also semi-invisible.
Yeah, but he's not fully in, it's not the same. Yeah.
I know it's not the same, yes. Oh.
So, I didn't read the memo.
Come on, like a lot of text. Why are we here? What's happening today?
Apparently there's a meeting happening today. Also, the council leader is currently here.
Ooh.
So, best behaviors. Best behaviors. Why is there rust and
I
blood
agree,
on your armor?
I'm
But
Chris, but all my friends just call me Wang Wang.
you would need to catch me first.
You just
Not gonna shoot in
call
here.
me Wang Wang.
I would request you do not.
Sorry. I'm probably I gotta go. But thanks for letting me just like
there
hang out
is.
with you guys for a bit.
I love that song.
Ugh.
I was wondering what that was.
It's rude to go through it, person.
It doesn't feel good.
No, it doesn't feel good.
Oh, what is it, though?
Why is there blood on your armor? Did you put down a couple more riots?
Yeah.
You didn't think to
Wasn't
clean
actually
it
get
first?
that off. Didn't look like it was. We're kind of in a rush, really. And had time to do it.
Nothing will happen of it today. However, it should not happen again. So,
Gotcha. Understood.
all right.
Unprofessional counselor.
I'm aware of how much
If I had like a
common
really important meeting to do right now, which I do actually.
And clean it and get that rust out of it.
Hello.
Blood and the rust
Hello.
before the blood turns into more
What's up?
rust. It'll be expensive.
Oh. These are the elevators.
Yeah. Yes, you do. Quite handsomely. I know. I know your invoice.
Hmm. I see.
Sure.
Don't worry, darling. We'll tape a knife to you later.
Why would you? Why you want to tape a knife to it?
Hello.
It's an old joke from the service.
You wish to hook yourself up to the server.
I will schedule it for sometime after the meeting today. So long as I'm not
You didn't see anyone else in
needed.
there, did you?
Job's easy.
Negative.
We don't have to do much, but you know.
Okay, good.
So long as I'm not deployed directly after the meeting, I will do so.
I highly doubt
Yeah,
any
it's good, you know.
that.
Keep
Okay.
going, due to the fact that my jam, you know, some other stupid.
Our anti-ice, is it up? Our ice, rather, is it up to date?
Yeah, it's.
Let me check.
Easy enough.
All is well.
Okay, good.
Everything.
My taxmen are going to need that uploaded into them as soon as we can.
Correct part, or I need them present in the
We can send
instance.
Okay, they're currently training and also kicking in some doors, I believe. There was a person that was going around stealing landline telephones. We tracked down. We tracked down the location of the person stealing the phones, and we sent the taxmen in to go and retrieve them. Both the individuals involved and the phones.
Are there any issues involving the case? What was it?
I'm not sure of anything about that.
Good day. Reporting for duty. I apologize for my absence, whereas Sir Herzog gone. He is my personal, well...
Identification number.
43-B.
Leon, you will get a message from Octavia telling you to start security detailing the 8th floor for the meeting. The rest of you will get a message that we will be starting the meeting shortly, and you can make your way to the 8th floor as soon as you are ready.
I see. Well, thankfully, you're only about 15 minutes late for your shift. So only 15 minutes will come off of your time card.
I hadn't meant to be late, man.
You're perfectly fine. I understand.
I understand. Traffic and other things like that happen. However, please do not make it a common occurrence.
No, man, it is not a plan.
Of course.
Thank you, though.
Tell your other associates here.
Please hold the... Oh, they're not going to hold it for... Oh, they are holding it for me. Fantastic. Ah. Ugh.
This elevator seems damaged.
I think this one's broken, yes. I have to call the maintenance person on it. Can you please be corporeal? It's rather weird when you phase through me. I see.
Oh dear.
I forgot that wasn't a seat. On the ball.
There you are. Right then. Okay. Is that one coming? Or are we gonna have to walk?
May have to walk. I'm currently performing maintenance on the building's infrastructure. Some parts of the power will not function as it were.
Kai really did a number on this place, didn't he? Oh well. We'll get everything sorted out in due time. Yes, there's men running around like barbarians with blood on their armor. We might... Oh, fantastic!
I much prefer traveling into streams. No matter.
Oh, where are we going? The 9th?
The confirm Octavius.
Oh dear. Seems everyone around me has died. Horribly. How tragic.
Go to the elevator.
Try out the stairs, son. Good on you.
Ah, you've returned. Oh shit.
Every inch of this building needs to be checked, no matter how safe it may be.
We're going to the 9th floor. I don't know what the fuck happened, but you know.
Hello.
Quite off the system.
Is this where we're meeting? Is this the
Oh, dear.
meeting room? I don't know what the fuck meeting
It
room
is indeed, sir. Right down the road.
It's up here?
Oh, the way here. Indeed.
What the? I was lied to. This is the 8th floor. I went to the 8th
By
floor,
whom?
found a meeting room. I don't know. Somebody. Okay, this does look... This guy. This motherfucker. Right.
Continue your sweeps. I've been assigned to this floor.
know which floor the meeting room is in.
Where did they go to?
Whoa.
Every other inch of this building, but I have this floor. Understood?
Everything always at the correct time, I suppose.
Get to it.
Hello there, man.
Hello. Pleasure to see you.
Of course. Always want to see you.
This room over
This-
here.
Of course.
Did you need me for anything before we started?
Not at the moment. Maybe for something afterwards.
Hi.
Sure.
Did you get the cable fixed?
It appeared it wasn't a cable issue, but an issue with the theoretical readings, something like that. I know that. find out what's before while you hold your meeting. I promise you, sir.
Feel free to take a seat at your leisure.
You're
Alright.
right at all.
So weird.
Oh dear.
So different.
Mm.
You
It's
should.
That's terrible.
I'm the fucking best.
Man, I really should be given, like, I don't know, some sort of itinerary. I should be given something that informs me of what everybody does and who everybody. Whatever. You know what?
Like a
If you'd
staff
like
dossier?
something like that, sir. If you'd like
Yes.
something like that, sir, I can draft that up for you.
Cause I thought you had like a cool crystal in your room, and I went to touch it, and then a man just appeared, and I was like, okay, I guess. Oh, it's one of those.
Yeah, it is one of those.
See. Cool. A chair that makes me seem way smaller.
Yeah,
One
I
of
think
those.
most of us are just sitting on the booster seat and lowering it down a few steps.
Okay.
Great.
And here
I
was
think this is-
the council member's the only one that needs a booster suite.
Well, let's get started. Without any hesitation here. I would like for each of you to go around the table and introduce yourself, what you do, so that way our esteemed councilman is aware of our capabilities and current operations. Just a general name, code name, and what you are, what we hired you for, what section of the operations you are taking care of. Any volunteers to start?
My eyes have gone out. Oh dear.
Man, not everyone at once.
I will volunteer
Currently
lockdown
unable to
then.
see.
Please.
This is secure, correct? Right. Osamu Girashi. Codename Lockdown. In charge of cybersecurity. Studied around Guardian District by Octavia. We'll be handling the cyber wall within District 0. And whatever else is an entail. That's very combative special. That's like
Nothing up here.
Right, so Lockdown is our cybersecurity specialist, the eyes and ears everywhere, essentially. As far as technology is concerned, we'll be having some good topics for him today, I'm sure. Herzog, next round.
I'm Herzog. I am your intel guy. I'm also the guy that, if you need someone really dead, I can do that. What else? Ex-Havana. I can bring in people alive, I can bring them dead. Get the information either way.
Herzog was a particularly potent poach from Havana when they were in full operation here. Someone I took note of that I was personally in charge of eliminating, but with the potential and interest that I saw in our interactions, I thought he might be a better addition to the team than eliminated outright. So he is now here.
It's a pleasure.
TPK, if you would.
My classification is Tactical Protocol Unit. Knight. My official code name is Knight, however, many have chosen to refer to me as TPK. I am in charge of synthetic insights and am a capable trapper, if necessary.
Cool.
TPK is the only synthetic on the team, though they are synthetic in a strange way. They are technically a copy of a person put into data, and they have been in combination with a advanced learning algorithm integrated with Magitech. They are almost incapable entirely of losing the same way to the same opponent twice. They very quickly learn from encounters. They also have adaptive Magitech arsenal, so any weapon, anytime, they just are able to draw upon that. A very strong field agent.
This is where all of our budget is going. Cool.
Very much so.
Kai
My
really
actual-
just fucking.
My
Oh,
actual
whatever.
program was a gift from a synthetic military corp. So, not all of the expenses were on my creation. Just the chassis.
Right. Though you will notice, if you cared to review the latest report from our lovely overlord, that replacing or repairing this thing is as expensive, if not more, than a dropship.
Okay.
Which brings us to our final current member.
Hello. It is fantastic to finally meet you, sir. My name is Phaleth. However, my codename is just Overlord, and I believe that is just something that would be easier to refer to me as.
Overlord?
Overlord, correct.
Watching over everything.
Eyes on everything. I'm in control of the... I control the logistics here. Payroll. Things going in and out of this district. I have my finger on the pulse of all consumption, all requirements. Water, food, consumer goods, everything else like that. I have my hand in either with share stock in the company or direct control of said company via shadow or puppet organizations.
Cool.
I also deal with gathering some forms of information for some people. However, I normally don't go out.
They are an iron in every fire type person. Someone that is very well entrenched in the general commerce of District Zero. Somebody that can affect finances in a strong manner. This is how we are offsetting a lot of cost from our previous endeavors, including our good friend Mr. Strange. We put together, and by we, I mean Overlord put together a plan which we are putting into action, which will raise fossil fuel prices or combustion engine fuel prices by a small amount, which will net us overall a huge recoup on losses and allow us to use that for infrastructure and repairs for both ourselves and the city.
Cool. I don't know if you'd like the actual numbers. However, the amount of numbers, the amount of cost just in sheer logistical power, as well as infrastructure and other things like that, that we lost to Strange, totals in the small billions.
Oh, just a small billions, yeah. You can compile everything that you find and just send it to my desk, if that's cool.
It'll be on your desk in tomorrow.
Thanks. I'm sure you've got notes for your own members, but I did have notes to bring to the meeting that I wanted to discuss on a couple of things. So
Feel
when
free.
you're... Oh, you should probably go first if you had anything, because my stuff might be long.
I mean, it might affect things that we decide in the future. Some of my thing is going to be directly placing each of them or overseeing placing each of them in various sectors of District 0. Several zones I will give them to oversee to operate through the week. So if you have information for us, it might affect those kinds of decisions and where they will have an effect on the district.
Okay. I'm gonna stand up because I'm prone to moving around and I don't want to touch the chair a bunch. Okay. Let me get on my notes real quick. I had a couple things I had to discuss. So, actually, I wanted to touch on something that you mentioned in the hall not too long ago. Something to do with Sachi. Is there news that I am unaware of?
Hey, it wasn't me.
Hmm?
What does that mean?
What has happened?
Let's follow the fucking
specific.
news. Fucking explosion, death. Barney's fucking gone.
Oh.
Something along
I
those
see.
lines.
Wait.
Yeah, it looks like a fucking assassination to me, but not how I would have done it.
Normally people
So-
like that are apropos to dying.
He's dead? Was a
Want to
body
believe the
found?
news? See,
Was a body found?
I fucking don't know, man. The news don't report on that shit, and I'm not going over to the district to check that out. I got my hands full here.
Please don't.
Bystander reports and witnesses are unconfirmed. We're not sure.
Are we talking about, I'm sorry, I got a little lost on who this was targeting. Are we talking about Strange?
Sachi.
No, the council member. Was it fucking
Oh.
Garden?
Guardian District.
Interesting.
Garden
Well,
District. Sorry, guys. Say Garden.
We met what I thought was the replacement councilman for Garden anyway, so perhaps it was somebody caught wind of them and tried to make sure their council seat wasn't in danger of being repossessed.
Ah, I see.
It's a possibility.
Okay. Oh. Man. Well, if somebody could find me more information about that, I would appreciate it. It could be at the bottom of the list, but I want to make sure that all our council members are safe, and our overall goal here in District 0 and my continued goal is to unite the council. Always has been. It's a pretty high expectation, I know, especially with Malleus and everything, but I wish to unite the council more than they already are. Hopefully. Here's to hopeful thinking. So yeah, if somebody could find out what happened to Sachi in more depth than what the news provides, I would appreciate. But that can be a last. Okay. So, in the past couple of months, I got reports, and I'm sure you guys have already been informed or looked into this. There was large power outs throughout the city just in the past couple of weeks. It's not leading to any of our equipment, none of our generators. The phenomenon seems to be some sort of large power source beneath our feet, and I am not referring to any of our dark zones or lower facility cities. So, does anybody have any news on what this is for me?
Can you give us a time frame on when this happened?
Well, happened about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, maybe something like that.
There was a large power fluctuation, and I was given reports that about 47 petawatts was being used at a certain point, but our grid was able to compensate for it. I think just that amount of draw and then the sudden cut off of it caused the there might be some oh dear. I'm not that kind of engineer. Transformers might have exploded. I can send out some engineers to see if they can fix it.
If it was something that was damaged or destroyed, especially our property, I'm sure we would have found out about that by now. These power-outs are, even now, still affecting us. So, if none of you know fully what this is, I would like you to look into that and find out what that is and what is causing this, because this is still affecting us today, and I cannot pinpoint it. I can give a general location of where most of the power-outs are.
Located
in? They are... Oh god. I will send the zones to you.
Of course.
Wherever Strange's Asylum is.
See.
Could have been a banner.
Just so you are fully aware, I will be waiting until the end of your list of things you would like done, and then specifically assigning people I think are best for those tasks to take care of them.
Okay.
But we will be looking into everything you bring to the table, of course.
Understood. Something else we need to discuss is the intentions of Millennium. If you don't know what this is, it is a building that Malleus McKay is building not too far from our own tower. The use of Millennium is to help the depressed, the sick, the sad, and to turn their frowns upside down, I guess, in a more I won't sugarcoat it, a more forceful manner, I suppose, but apparently people can walk in and ask for this. I'm not sure if this is true, and I do not fully trust Malleus McKay with what he is doing in his own district. There has been so much news, so much drama, so much information that I'm in the dark on with Mr. Malleus, and I can't agree to any of his paperworks or any of his whatever he's providing to our council meetings that he wants us to sign. I can't fully engage myself in those until I fully know what he's up to. So, when this Millennium is built, I wish for one of you to personally investigate it and find out how it is run. I don't want this to be an official Kaijin search, and I would prefer if Kaijin oppressors are not present at the Millennium. I wish for Malleus to feel comfortable in our district. So he lets down his guard. I wish for you to find out what these buildings do, and if they are affecting the public negatively. On to a more fun discussion. Our connections with the gangs here in District 0. I suppose this conversation is going to be more open to the table. But how do we wish to address the matter of gangs here in our home? I think they have had too much leniency, too much control. They have walked through the very halls of our building. They have assassinated our council member prior. And even today, they grow in power. They steal assets. Their weapons grow in mass destruction, the magitech that they hold on their persons without licenses. You know, the list goes on. And I am not just referring to the Whisperers either. Whatever we agree on here today, we need to agree on with Tigers as well. And all gangs, for that matter.
Treats them as criminals, do we not? Executes, detain, prison.
We have
That-
legal
I mean, Overlord could just, you know. But
I could, yes, but
I
that's
would
expensive.
agree. But District Zero was not built as the Guardian District was, or other districts. We would not have the reputation we have if gang or criminal activity didn't run our home. As much as I would just like to arrest all of our problems, the gangs do have a stake over us. They do run our streets. And we do not have the numbers that some of our gangs do to fully keep our streets safe. So there needs to be an
I
in-between.
believe there is a vested interest in keeping gangs around, while on top of all of that, there is an issue with if we were to arrest everyone, I simply don't think we have the space to store all of those bodies until they, especially indefinitely. Nor do I believe that we have a room in our budget for that. But there is a greater use for gangs beyond taking them off the street, which is that they do themselves act as a natural deterrent for malactors within or who seek to enter the district, as they are hyper, perhaps the right word is xenophobic. Anything that is strange on the street, they will notice right away. So having a somewhat early warning system through these people is useful to us overall. Though it is agreed that their destructive power has gone a bit too unchecked. So I will personally be working with Overlord to create a list of suspected Magitech that we believe the gang has. I will attempt to peacefully contact both of the gang leaders and offer them a deal to turn over high-powered and Magitech weapons to Kijin, which we will not persecute them for. It will be a free take, and we are done. But anything we discover past that point will be persecuted to the full extent of Kijin Tower's capability.
I think furthermore on that, we need what's the word I'm looking for? Contactors, somebody from the Tigers, somebody from the Whisperers that you make contact with on, be it a day-to-day, a week-to-week, a month-to-month basis, where you can discuss how we can keep our gang's interests aligned with ours. Because I will be honest, if it is not us that works with the gangs, it will be someone else. Some other council member. Some other evil grand villain that wants to enter our home, and then we are going to have one less ally, one less network of information. And I go on of a million reasons of why I think stepping on the toes of gangs and criminals that have the power that they do is a bad idea. I would rather not have war in our streets more than we already have.
It's a
In
balance
fact-
to be struck. If we are to have an immune system, they could simply be referred to as something like white blood cells. Things that are good in the appropriate amount, but can easily become cancerous if unchecked or untreated.
We might also want to give them some sort of meaningless title. That always helps bond people together more.
When I
Call them
first made the deal
protectors
with
or
Toko,
something.
when I first made the deal with Toko Odar, I referred to the Whisperers becoming peacekeepers, like a neighborhood watch for District Zero. People that our civilians could look up to.
That gonna be an official title for them?
Well,
Probably not something we shout to the public or on a news stream, but something that we can call them to boost their ego and keep relations.
but understand, this deal that we're making Every time that they blow up a building, destroy something, kill a civilian, or do something that is irreversible, someone has to pay. A price needs to be paid for their crimes. Every time. Be it if it's one of their members being arrested, then paying a fee, or making some public apology, I don't know. There just needs to be something. They cannot go unchecked anymore.
I don't know about the
We'll work
Tigers,
on it.
but with the Whispers, there's a handful of people in there. They already made quite a few deals with Havana and this sorts. Probably pretty easy to convince them to report for our side, you know.
They don't even have to do that. They can just dead drop some information, or just even text onto their phone. I'm pretty sure you, Lockdown, could get into the actual telecommunication systems, and we could just wiretap it.
Easily enough. Besides, credits is on top. That's
That too. People always talk with to money, or for money.
And if money doesn't work, we can always threaten to throw them off a building. That tends to clear people's heads as well.
We will, in detail, over the course of the next week, come up with a more solid treatment plan for the gangs. There are some concerns I have with more direct approaches, such as tapping, as those things are effective, but when found out, immediately sow distrust. So we will find a good path forward to keep them feeling like their interests are aligned with ours, and our interest, of course, being the security and safety of District 0 and its citizens.
With this said, their old council member, a man by the name of Marcus O'Delly, has arisen to taking leadership for the Whispers, which is problematic. The man has money, power, a lot of people in his pocket, I imagine. So something to consider.
Yeah, we can also do business with him. He's a reasonable man.
That too. I can look into acquiring some shares of whatever businesses he owns.
He used to do close business with my father. I remember him showing up to the tower when I was younger.
Perhaps we can invite him in again, under new management, meet the new leader and all of that.
Similar but differential requests. Are we to do anything about the current ones we have on acts of murder, terrorism?
The wanted lists stay the same, and so do the bounties. If our public, especially our blue suits, keep in mind that it is not just the public we are trying to appease, or the gangs, it is our own people. If our blue suits see us being lenient and throwing away our criminal system, then people are going to think that we are, turning on our district. We need to keep up. It's not a facade. I do want those people arrested, and I do want the weapons that they have taken off them brought back to the tower. But, you're all smart enough. I know that you can carefully do this if provided the opportunity.
And that we will. We'll put together a more coherent dossier for you to review at the end of the week.
Yeah.
Was there another topic you would like to discuss?
If any of you wish to try to personally speak with Malleus in regards to Tiger activities, and if you can get him to talk, then by all means.
I can send him a missive, sir. However, I don't believe he's going to answer any of us.
Hey, I'm gonna break into his house and say hello.
I did meet him personally before, so perhaps I will attempt to discuss with him something along those lines.
work out a business deal, something that's mutually beneficial to all sides.
Right. We do have the Millennium Building as stated, so it might be effective to suggest to him that we would like to see gang activity lower in its destructive power to make a good showing of defending assets brought in by other council members such as himself in this building.
The rumors that circulate the Tigers, it's a complicated one. I heard from firsthand Toku Odar, and seeing the actions myself, is that Malleus is attempting to use gang members to invade other districts. As of current hours, to gain a foothold, use them as an information network, etc.
Herzog.
So, how many times do you need to, like, have proof and repeated proof for a rumor in District 0 or in Zafira as a whole to become a fact? Because I've seen the fucking videos. It's pretty fucking damn evidence.
I don't think anyone that is a civilian, or anyone that, pardon my French, that doesn't matter or have a high stake at the top of a table, no one's going to listen. It needs to be us, a council, people that actually have a sway over this city, that are going to change the outcome of other districts.
Alright,
Not
okay,
some
fair
gang
enough. But
member.
internally, he's funding a fucking war in our streets, right?
Council members
Similar-
cannot directly attack council members, so inadvertently, yes.
Similar if you would consider what the Whisperers have done in Market District as us waging a war in Market District.
You pay them for that? That's crazy.
Well, we necessarily did not, but it's easy for Malleus to make the same claims.
Ah, shit.
I have
It's a
connections with
mutual
Whispers, yeah.
disconnect, right? If we allow him to say he is not involved with Tigers, we are thus allowing ourselves to say we are not involved with Whisperers.
Plausible deniability.
Right. And so long as both of us agree to the rule there, then both of us benefit from it, in a sense.
Okay. Moving on. Okay. Something to discuss as well is we kind of already went over the Magitech stuff, so I don't need to go over that. You two are investigating that. But
Very much so.
just so we're all on the same page, people that enter our district that have Magitech items now need licenses for that. No one should be walking our district with Magitech weapons without a license. So any underground Magitech fighting rings or sellers, gun dealers, whatever, all that needs to be shut down and,
Speaking of,
destroyed, removed.
if Hemlock had a chance to brief you, did get a report on use of an illegal Magitech item the other day.
Interesting. The details of which are
Something
probably
akin to
better
Just
detailed
know.
in paperwork, but I appreciate you letting me know.
Paperwork.
We will
And
need paperwork to compare what these items are against what we are missing to determine its source, its capability, and our best route to recapture these items.
Was it a weapon or a utility?
A firearm.
Ah,
If,
fantastic.
Patrol units informed me.
Fantastic. We can push the threat level on that.
Unimaginative.
Indeed.
And the other issue, which might be more urgent and need to be dealt with quicker, sooner than later, and might be connected to the weird phenomenon of power-outs that are going on, is our missing artifact. Now, I don't want to point fingers or blame anybody, but we are missing a very powerful item from our possession that needs to be found quickly. I've heard the name Nevrasi thrown around a couple times, be it from connections I have with Whisperers, but I don't know how relevant that information is. I know that she used to work at the tower, and I knew she used to work with the Magitech department very closely. I don't know what her ties would be in all this. I want someone to look into that and find our missing artifact before it gets into the wrong hands.
I'll see what I
Hey, I
can
mean,
sticking around the eyes.
anyone else's hands is the wrong hands, right?
There is body cam recording from our oppressors on the day that the convoy was attacked, so I would recommend looking over those and seeing the clothing of the perpetrators.
We can review that then, no problem.
I believe one of them also was the Havana.
Correct.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it sounds like something they would do.
Which is concerning. We want to try and avoid corporate war at all costs. Which brings me to the next point. Havana and their removal from my district. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how effectively or efficiently we can do this without starting a war. But the Havana have been... They've had their foot on my father for a very long time. They've had their foot in the door of Kaijin Tower for a long time. I personally read into some of the documents, and their connections run extremely deep with some of the corporations here in our home. Considering what our building is named, the aesthetic of our building, the people that we hire here, we might as well just be a descendant of the Havana itself. My father was very close with the, I don't know what they refer to him as, the chairman, councilman of the Havana. So a lot of our workings here is workings that used to go on there as well. But I wish to remove them from our district. I am open to suggestions.
I think that's a longer form plan, but Herzog, please speak to that.
You're familiar with the story of the Hydra? Hercules and all that? Yeah. So, he fucking cheated. He burned down the stumps before they could regrow. But with Havana, you can put me on a job. I can go to Kikyo and put a bullet in her brain right now. A day or two later, you're gonna have someone with the exact same ambitions and the same fucking connection in her position. And that's just gonna continue. You need to do something to make District Zero unappealing to these people. Sunk cost. At some point, they're going to pull out because it's just not worth it anymore.
I might as well add to this. You say you do not want open corporate war. There is already a silent one. There is a cold war that is currently going on in trading, in materials, and raw resources, and transportation fees and costs and everything else like that, tariffs. If you'd like, I could look into the kind of corporations that are owned by this Havana and just raise the tariff on the import and export of goods that they produce.
It's a good first step, but before we do that, let's reorganize what we are capable of producing within District Zero and what we're not, what we are getting from Havana. Find other places we can get it, so that way we can potentially receive it for cheaper, and then we will, if we can get it from something like industrial or garden or something.
Yes.
Right, even if it's from another district, we can then impose a tax for importing items outside of Zafira into District Zero, which could add additional financial crippling onto Havana.
That is unfortunately one of the issues with this, is that a great deal of our resources have to come from the other districts. It's how we maintain the power between the districts.
It is better for us to receive from other districts than from Havana directly.
Yes, and from Havana.
Right.
The problem and the main issue I have is anything that we want to do in our home is always going to be seen and questioned by these other people. We are always going to be on a leash, I feel. Not one that we can physically see, but these people see themselves as almost gods amongst corporations, keeping us in line and making sure that we're following some rule or guidelines that they writ themselves. And my father, unfortunately, being a part of that and signing things that I imagine he didn't understand at the time, has now allowed them to wiggle their way into our home. They primarily operate, I'm sure you know, in Neo-Tokyo. So their dealings here, I cannot really see what else their dealings would be here other than to keep an eye on the tower itself and to maintain us. And to connect back to the artifact, them trying to steal our own things, it just worries me that they're looking into our tech, and who knows what they could do with that. It's food for thought.
Night.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were raising your hand as if you wanted to state something.
Negative. I was finishing overviewing the footage.
Understood. Yes, I do believe, though, Havana is a much longer form problem that will take us a good amount of time to put together something comprehensive.
I imagine it will take centuries before we can really get rid of them. I understand it's a more long-term thing for our home.
It is, yes. It starts with removing the reliance upon them. Making, as you said, District Zero less financially viable for them. And for you, sir, I apologize for the, if I am being crass or anything else with you, but for you to put your foot down, per se. You are the leader of this district. What you say goes. Though you may be young, I see a lot of experience in those eyes.
Thanks. My last thing to bring up is Dark Zones. I think it's about time that we officially shut down our Dark Zones. Clean them up. There's a lot of places in our home that are infecting, diseasing other zones that have just been left in ruin with important documents. And according to my findings of the last time Kai was alive, is that one of our test subjects got away from one of these dark zones.
Right, I believe I
There
ran
is-
into him actually.
There is a lot
White
of
hair.
history of my father being complacent and leaving these two people that don't really know what they're doing. So I think it is about time that we know what we were doing and how we were handling them and destroying them and starting from ground zero. This does not involve our facilities below us. The underground cities are to be left alone. Dark zones are a little different. The research that I've done is they were more surface labs. They researched on homeless. They were trying to make super soldiers.
Oh, they're always trying to make super soldiers, aren't they?
do mind that our ability to be fully adapted to some of our own personal magitech that some of us in the room use is likely due to the sacrifices made by people who perished in those zones.
I'm.
So,
A necessary
we
evil
can...
at the time, I imagine. But now no longer needed, I think.
We can
Robot wants to
definitely
say
work to
something.
start cleaning them. Please.
I believe that dismantling and decommissioning of these dark zones should be a case-by-case basis. Once we have retaken the lost location and regathered the information, determining if the use of the facility can continue on before having to reconstruct it may be important.
We can review it as we push through them.
That, and may I always press the importance of skunk works.
I think
Places that
these
are
dark
off the
zones
books.
have a bad reputation with Gaijin, so I would prefer for them to be removed, but I imagine you'll relay the information to me first, and we'll discuss each one as they come up.
And it's very easy for us, of course, to publicly remove all of these black sites and retain one or two for personal use, reconstruct the building or area, repurpose it to look nicer.
I think it would be more beneficial to just move these research labs to the underground cities. I think using our civilian populace for anything is not on the table.
We could make that volunteer instead of being voluntold.
Anybody that is given an opportunity to have a better life, of course they're going to take that. We wouldn't be any better than Malleus at that point with Millennium if we started doing that.
Wait, sorry, do you want to like win the corporate war, or you want to be the good guys?
I think I can do a bit of both.
Have you
That's
played
cute.
chess, sir?
I have.
You often cannot win the game without sacrificing a few pawns.
True.
We try and as best to save as many people as we can.
Let's not sacrifice our civilian populace.
Of course.
And more so sacrifice ourselves, because we should come first, if I'm being honest.
Alright,
And
so
I
you want to send in our troops? These guys, this guy, you want to tell him, hey, go into one of the dark zones and clean out the fucking horrors that some
it's
fucking freak
truly-
scientist created?
I mean, my taxmen are looking to have some fun.
If it truly
Fun.
comes down to it, who says we cannot
I
sequester
don't know
some
about fun dying, is it?
Oh.
criminal entities in Zero? Do the dirty work.
No, someone's fucking thinking.
A prisoner release program. The crimes and the are expunged for if they do this deed for us. Or at least one of
Perhaps
the
you
criminal
can-
crimes is knocked down.
Speak with Guardian, considering they have set up refugee camps along our checkpoints under our feet as of recent. Perhaps maybe something in return is, you know, they allow us to reform some of their criminals from their district, maybe?
Do we really need more criminals from a different district in this place?
No, I
Don't we have
think
enough
this
on
is
our
in relation to the testing aspect. Instead of testing on our own citizens off the street, we can import undesirables.
I agree
Now
with
he's
this
fucking
idea.
thinking like his dad.
Hmm.
Be a bit of a logistical hurdle, but it could be done.
Say, I don't want to be the guy, but is there more stuff on the list?
Yes. Do you have anything else for us, sir?
That is everything.
To quickly cover our end of things then, I would like each of you to, when you have available time over the weekend, to detail to me, even in short form, the work you've done over the last week, and I will be assigning you zones to operate on and tasks from this list we have been provided for each of you to accomplish. Some of you will be personally joining me or being tasked by me to reach out to some of the gang members for communication about our weapons policy that we will be rolling out. We will reclaim those as necessary after extending the olive branch. Once that's complete, there are some other tasks and good news and bad news, things we need to be looking into. Something of relevance from reports on street level. It seems that we can all draw a safe conclusion that after our Hell Week, Victor Strange is dead or crippled to the point that he will no longer be an issue, as there are reports of aimless, unorganized painters, things that were not so present. They tended to hold down an area or be thrown at an objective previously, but now it is just straggler groups that are uncoordinated, seemingly. Obviously works to our benefit. In addition, I want to notify everybody that our airship should be soon in function, launching from the northeastern zones that house the air bases. That will be an excellent tool for lowering violence in an area week by week, or day by day if needed. We can move it around. It is a bit of a logistical nightmare to move that many people in a short amount of time, but it can be done somewhat swifter with a larger vehicle such as this, so look forward to that launching soon. Sometime in the next 4 to 8 weeks, I will gather a group of us and some ISB agents. We will begin work on some of the dark zones. In particular, I would like you, Herzog, to not only go on this Dark Zone mission, but in addition, I want you to keep an eye on the areas around the Millennium building, ensure that there are no high-threat enemies while they still have possession of these high-powered weapons. Anybody that gets close that seems like they have intentions, you have immediate clearance to take care of them how you see fit.
Do I need to go to the Millennium thing? Can we, draw some straws? Okay, fuck. Yeah, sure. I'll fucking do
You are the best suited for individual unit removal on a down-low basis. So,
Would you like a hotel
just keep an eye on
I
things.
know, I am the best. I know. Fuck me.
Finally, as a quick topic and something to discuss with both Overlord in particular and Aki, but I want everybody on their best behavior. If you are interacting with any councilman, remember that you are representing the district. They will take anything you say as law, so please be careful with the information that you share. Beyond that, I believe at an upcoming council meeting, when or if there is one, I would like to propose to Aki to bring myself and Overlord in particular, as I believe other districts need a firm reminder that all of the power in District 0, or in Zafira, is our property. It is sold by us. All of the infrastructure, the wiring, the cables, they are all proprietary ownership by Keegan Tower, and that attempts to create their own power or tap into any existing Keegan lines is a offense that can and will get people extradited to District 0 to face the full punishment of the law. Anybody above a citizen, such as council members or CEOs, corporate members, will be heavily fined for breaking such a contract.
Obviously,
With
this
the
does not
exception, of
extend
course.
to Vintherial. If you don't know who he is, I would recommend looking into him. He works in the industrial district and has made an agreement with me.
And what is the agreement, sir?
Well, he is going to officially be our backup generators. I allowed him to make his own power within the industrial district.
Apologies.
Right.
Please tell us what world-shattering benefit we gain from allowing them to produce their own power.
They are breaking the agreements of the original city was laid down on.
I believe that will have to be a conversation that you have with him, but it isn't already an agreement I made with him. If you feel we need to change it, then we can speak with him.
Well,
Go
this
over it
doesn't sound
again.
like an agreement. This sounds like we are just giving up leverage and social power to
Blackstone,
industrial.
Our company is the only people that repairs, provides safety checks on his equipment. It's more of an official thing. He is our official backup generators for the district in case our district is compromised, which at the time, dealing with Strange, this was relevant and mattered. Because if our power went out, which it was compromised not too long ago, if you remember the Market District having their power removed, I got in a lot of trouble for that. So to appease people at the time and to remove the flame that was starting to ignite, I agreed with Intherio's proposition of allow him to make a backup generator. Everything though goes through Black Stem, which he still has to pay for. They deal with repairs, they deal with maintenance, health and safety, everything. Checks go through them. So it's still technically something that we own inadvertently.
Herzog.
They're allowed to travel there completely.
Yes.
Never mind. Continue.
So, these Black Sun guys, you know, clearly are doing a fantastic job if the fucking generators, the lifeblood of this fucking place, in any way, shape, or form compromised. So what? What are they? Are they like separate entities? Who do they belong to? And you know, can we just not give them like
They
some
are-
bigger weapons?
They are our... We own Blackstone. They're like...
They're a subcontractor.
Got that? Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. And they are as well equipped as these guys.
Well, no, because we have to deal with our own oppressors and our own equipment here and keeping our civilians safe. But hopefully talking with the gangs should stop violence on our generators happening from the future. Because I believe it was gang-related activity that had our generators attacked.
So remind me, does this district run on keeping civilians safe, or on selling power and the equipment that these Blackstone guys are supposed to keep safe?
It definitely isn't the city that you thought my father used to run, so you might as well get that image out of your head.
Allow me to rephrase it. We will have no citizens if we allow others to not rely on us in any way, shape, or form.
So, if I may...
Malleus is already attempting to work his way into the district, and the more blood that's in the water, the more will come to feast.
So, if I may make the point to you, about 90% of our food comes from Garden District. About 85% of all industrial goods comes from Industrial District. Good 75% of our weapons comes from Guardian District. We cannot allow ourselves to give up the one thing that we make
we weren't in a position to say no.
We most certainly are, sir.
At the time, I would disagree. If we were perfect at doing our jobs, and we were, some high corporate military, I imagine we would have dealt with Strange by now. I imagine I wouldn't have been kidnapped. I imagine our generators wouldn't have been attacked. I imagine Kai would have done a far better job at organizing all of you to do your jobs better. But here we are, having this conversation. Things have to change, and we will adapt where needed. Now that Octavia is in charge, we can now move forward with the information that I have provided to you and change things where needed. There's no point dwelling on the past. What was agreed was agreed. We can change what we need to moving forward.
I already have an easy backup plan if we ever decide we need to reclaim it. Wholesale it into industrial. Arm whisperers, send them in for a terrorist attack. Claim they're incapable of producing it, that's why we are in control of everything. Repossess it under Keijin instead of Blackstem, and keep everybody from industrial off of it. We will play by ear what we feel is necessary as we go forward. As you said, even in some of the high instances or the low instances, we are getting between 95 to 75% of certain resources from other districts. If we are 100% of Zephyra's power, and we dedicate 5% to industrial, it might not affect us greatly. But again, as necessary, we can potentially reclaim assets through connections.
I like the way she's fucking thinking.
It is important I will state to everyone here, to remember that yes, Kai was considered a terrible, bad actor without the interest of District Zero or Keijin in mind. But while we are going through removing what we would consider corruption, it is still important to balance the necessary with the greater good. Your morals with what will allow us to preserve those morals. In the end, we do need citizens to be able to provide better lives to citizens. And in some cases, you cannot emerge from the swamp without mud on your boots. We will avoid it as necessary. We will take action that is strictly in the best interest of the district and its citizens. But we do so with understanding that in action, there are some people who die. We will minimize that number, but that number will be above zero, as it is for every district in every city across the globe, and assuredly on other planets as well. If there are no objections or further questions, everybody here is dismissed. I will expect your paperwork on last week's work, and you will be assigned new work for the upcoming week.
Oh, I fucking hate paperwork.
Paperwork, my friend, is the lifeblood of the city. It's the lifeblood of every city, just as much as the blade and the sword.
Do you like help?
Too bad I can't write mine in blood. Alright.
It's on cemetery.
Guess it's time to sit down at the desk.
If you would like, I can assist you.
Dear. Fuck. Anyways.
Overload. It was a moment.
Of course.
Feel free to borrow the office in the back if you need.
Understood.
I'll be heading out. Thank you, Knight. Knight, I think we're going to have some fun soon. I have some few people I would like you to
Excited,
reach out
buddy.
to, and
We gotta do some monster hunting.
some people to track down.
Gonna throw our lives away for
I will prepare myself for deployment.
securing some
I would also
underground
like to
fucking
request
facility instead of just blowing it up.
to be stored upon the airship
Yeah,
once
sure,
it is
something
operational
like that.
and active. It may help with rapid deployment in the future.
That's fine. I believe that is something we can accommodate. We'll see if we can create something last minute to accommodate your stay long term on the airship.
My core can stay beneath the tower, but an uplink node will be necessary to be installed.
And something to maintain your chassis. More what I was referring to.
I did not concern myself for my personal damages, but thank you for your concern for my well-being.
Of course. Remind me of your name.
The name's Cameron.
Yes. Come on out here. I'm going to send you out soon. Some final approval tasks. I want you to visit both Whisperers and Tigers
Ma'am, I'm to escort you and your companion out when you're ready to go.
Of course. I appreciate the protection.
No, it's simply following orders, ma'am.
An admirable trait.
I'm Agent Care, by the way. I was put on security detail today. Was told it was one of my final checks.
Ah, I see. Do you like board games, by chance?
Which ones, ma'am?
The specifics are not entirely necessary. However, I have found that competitive and cooperative games are more enjoyable and allow for a higher test of skill and understanding.
I enjoy a good few board games, though nothing too complicated. I can't quite remember chess.
I can help you. That is one of my favorite games.
finish your sweep. Do your final checks, like I said. Right.
Do you have a preferred weapon? I know that standard issue you are given a blade and a shield, along with your Tesla gauntlets. But have you ever found a weapon
I'm
opposed?
quite honest with you, man. I prefer the regular oppressor armor. I've only recently been accepting promotions after Kai's, removal from the force. I was ZCPD, I stayed with it when it was dissolved into Keegan, and I've been here this whole time. Though I didn't want to really go far from the streets. I like groundwork. Getting my hands dirty. Suppose it's funny that I like, CQC the best, then my preferred weapon is no weapon. Though if I must, I'll draw a gun.
I suppose you enjoyed the Tesla gauntlets when you first put them on.
Somewhat.
Interesting. How effective do you believe you are in close quarters combat?
I believe I'm effective as I can be, man. I run the simulations every day. As effective as any flesh and blood can be.
Do not discount your organic nature. You have limitations that I do not. But there is something important you have that I will never emulate. I envy it.
Man, quite frankly, I was just meaning the numbers. We all fight for the same thing here. I don't care what you're made of. As long as you're for this district and its people.
So long as I am ordered to be. It is decided then. I will be inviting you to board game day. Whenever I'm able to actually gather enough people for that.
Much appreciated.
It's important for team building exercises.
Oh, I'll be glad to join for it. I always make sure that anyone that's ever been under my command gets some R&R. Some sort of team building exercise. And then, of course, days off. Rec days. My home is my station.
This is something stated in a figurative sense. For me, however, that is quite literal.
I mean it literally as well. I was orphaned at a young age. Joining ZCPD, all that, came of my own volition, and I've worked hard for it ever since. Been here ever since. Suppose you could say I bleed Cajun blue.
That was figured that time, correct?
Yes, it was.
Understood.
Despite what some people think when I take my helmet off, I am human. Would it ever be possible to make these more spacious to accommodate for any demi-humans? You know, ones that might have, ears and the like. I'm not much on the design side of these things.
You mean the helmet?
Yeah.
Alterations can be made to the mold to allow for more elongated head shapes. The majority of the population is human, and thus are staffed here. Thus...
I understand that.
Oh. Hey, can you do my paperwork?
I can assist you. I cannot do it for you.
Yes. Fuck. Okay, fine.
I will
Hey,
help as much
buddy,
as I
did you
can.
hear the great news? I'm officially your tag along for your little talking thing, majigs.
Understood, sir.
I might have saw that situation, or you. It sounded like you were in charge of that.
Right. Yeah. Sorry,
I'm not gonna
used
sell you though. Don't even fucking.
to- Well,
Alright.
you don't
How
have
much
to.
of the cable was dug up?
Ma'am,
Okay.
I'll be
I don't
escorting
know.
you and Agent Knight out of the building.
Ah, fantastic. After you then. Apologies. We need to lay about 350 kilometers of new telephone wire.
I'm just stuck in the
You guys are all free to
See
go
it on
cards
there.
down whenever you'd like. If you want to have your last social conversations, no worries, feel free to.
We also need
But
to...
for everybody who came, thank you very much. I appreciate you all being here. Even just the 4 or 6 NPCs we had helped fill out the room and make it feel like the tower was, you know, nice and full of people. So I appreciate you being here. And we will see you guys all soon. Look forward to more ISB.
You there? Are you doing
Anything else to
anything?
report?
Nope, no one has gotten within the 50 feet around this tower that you told me to keep checking.
Good. If that's all then, like I said, just do your final check-in with your partner, and then the two of you are free to go. Are you the last one here, actually?
Would you like to drive?
Yeah, he kind of left me here alone.
I am capable of doing so if you would like.
That is up to you. I do not mind.
I checked you out.
I
You
don't,
checked me out.
don't believe our
is-
gentlemen though will be able to drive us.
Driving is...
Apologies, no. I have to go a different way.
Of course.
Myself and Herzog.
Whenever you make your return to the capital arm, hygiene personnel.
After you.
Down in the mess hall.
I don't believe I've seen you drive before, darling.
Driving is very easy. I prefer things that are challenging. Like trying to track Herzog.
That's understandable.
Hey, you took so long. I was just waiting.
I may not be able
Knew
to
we
drive you along
Paperwork, robot. Friends, help me write down the things I want to write down.
I will do so when I am
Are you doing any...
returning
Sir,
to the
you, what's your badge number? What's your operating number?
Okay, fine.
I don't remember.
We'll get it sorted out. I will strike you this time, however. Okay.
You are a security guard, yes? Or rather,
Yes.
you are a member of the Kaiju.
He was placed in the
Fantastic.
security detail with me, yes,
I
ma'am.
believe I'm getting better at
fantastic,
tracking you.
fantastic. Okay. Well, there's currently a mess.
Very cold day in hell when that happens.
206.
Currently, I can at least keep track of a radius of your location, given your average move speed.
Hey,
Oh, no,
Guys,
this
failure
has already
sheet.
been dealt with, darling. It's just a building that is completely covered in gore and grime.
I will get better.
also, you don't know how fast I am. You haven't seen me run yet.
I've seen you run on
I'd
treadmill.
like to deal with the mess, ma'am.
Well, my taxman...
That's different. I'm not putting in full effort there, right? Maybe I'm way faster.
Put a squad
You can't see me anyway, so you don't know.
Ship up, go out there.
Fair. There's also the possibility that I overestimate how
Probably
fast
get
you're
on
moving.
that tomorrow. It's late. I would
Also a
like to
thing.
sleep.
Point being, you just have a fucking
And after
guess.
your regulation 8-hour
That's the
slot
point.
period, you will get time and a half for the time that you are there.
As it is
You
not
get it there
what is
someone, robot.
Currently involved in your
I look
contract.
forward to trying.
See ya, suckers.
Fantastic. Alright, well.
Are we heading out to the location now, or are we heading back to our respective homes? I believe your current residence is here, correct? Or are we going out to investigate? Oh no, we are heading to the airship, correct?
I was meaning to ask you, sir, if you wanted to go and
After
head
you.
out to those locations now, or...
I gotta do my
Sure,
fucking
it's okay.
paperwork. I'll do it when that's done. Also, stop swearing me. Fucking hate that shit.
Sorry, sir, habit.
Oh dear. We're gonna have to pull a couple of strings, I suppose.
But yes, it will be done.
Thank you all, of course, for watching. And of course, as always, I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye!